Eala dazzles in DC. The Filipino star shows exactly why she's a superstar in the making. One of the most followed players on social media.
Thank you, Jonathan, and here we go.
One of the most interactive. Encouraged from Alex Eala. Do have to apologise, it was Renee Stubbs with the questions there.
Brought to you by Mubadala, serving up global returns.
Alex Eala
coming out to you from Alexander Eala.
Just keeps dazzling.
If you are Filipino, this moment belongs to you, not to a stadium in Washington, not to a scoreboard,
Incredible.
not to a ranking chart, to you, to every single person who has ever had to fight for something while the whole world assumed you would lose. Because on July 28, 2026, a 21-year-old woman from the Philippines stood on a tennis court against an Olympic gold medalist, went down a set, and refused to accept the story everyone expected her to live out. She didn't fold, she didn't shrink, she fought, point by point, game by game, until the scoreboard read what it was always going to read the moment she decided she wasn't finished. 4-6, 6-4, 6-1. A full comeback, against a former world number 4, against the reigning Olympic champion in women's tennis. And when the final point landed, something happened in that stadium that had never happened at that tournament before. The crowd didn't just clap, they roared. Local reporters covering the match called it Eala Mania, the most boisterous, most electric crowd the entire tournament had seen. And everyone inside that stadium knew exactly why. They weren't just watching a tennis match, they were watching one of their own rewrite what was supposed to be possible. Here's something most casual fans don't fully understand yet, and once you hear it, you won't be able to unhear it. Earlier this year, at the Paris Olympics, 3 women stood on a podium. Gold, silver, bronze. Zheng Qinwen took gold. Donna Vekic took silver. Iga Świątek took bronze. 3 of the very best players alive. 3 names carved permanently into Olympic history. Now sit with this. In 2026 alone, Alex Eala has beaten every single one of them. She beat Donna Vekic in Berlin. She beat Iga Świątek at Wimbledon, on center court, dethroning the defending champion in one of the most stunning upsets of the entire tournament. And now, in Washington, she has beaten Zheng Qinwen too. Every Olympic medalist from that podium. Beaten. By one Filipina. In 1 year. Say that out loud to someone, and watch their face change. This isn't hype. This isn't a stretch. This is simply what happened, and it has never been done by anyone from this country before. And the Zheng win carries even more weight once you know what came before it. Rewind to September 2023. The Asian Games in Hangzhou. Alex Eala was 18 years old, ranked 190th in the world, facing Zheng Qinwen, already one of the best players on the planet. Eala fought with everything she had. It wasn't enough. Zheng won in 3 sets, and Eala walked away with bronze instead of the gold that, for a few unforgettable minutes, felt within reach. That loss sat there for 3 years, unanswered, unfinished. Then, on a hard court almost 10,000 kilometers from Manila, she finally answered it. Asked afterward how she managed to fight back after losing that first set, her answer wasn't complicated. She said her coach told her to keep going, that if she stayed in every single ball, her chances would come. Then she said something that tells you everything about who she has become. She said that fighting mindset was always in her. But now, after everything she has built over the past year, she finally has enough behind it. In her own words, enough ammunition to back it up. Read that again. Not a lucky win. Not a fluke. A young woman who spent years building quietly toward exactly this moment, until she was finally strong enough to cash it in front of the entire world. That is what belief looks like when it's been paired with years of unseen work. But here's the part that should matter most to you right now. Because none of what just happened means anything if you're only looking backward. Today, Alex Eala walks back onto that same court in Washington for the round of 16. Her opponent is Leylah Fernandez, the defending champion of this exact tournament. The 7th seed. A player with 5 career WTA titles already to her name. This is not a soft landing after a big win. This is Alex Eala being asked to do it again. Immediately. on a surface she barely competed on before this week, against a champion defending her own home turf. And there is something about this particular match that makes it unlike almost anything else on the entire tour. Leylah Fernandez plays for Canada, but her mother is Filipino. She has never hidden it. She talks openly about the food, the family, the Filipino fans who show up for her across North America. So today, when these two women walk onto that court, something rare happens. Two players carrying Filipino blood, standing on opposite ends of the same net, and only one of them gets to keep going. There's unfinished business here too. Earlier this year in Stuttgart, on clay, Fernandez beat Eala in straight sets, 6-1, 6-4. That result is still sitting there, waiting, the same way the Zheng loss sat there for 3 years before yesterday. So understand exactly what Alex Eala is walking into today. A defending champion, a 5-time title winner, someone who has already beaten her once this season, and an entire nation, once again, setting alarms in the middle of the night just to watch. Nobody honest about this sport will tell you this is easy. But here is what we know for certain now, after what happened yesterday. Alex Eala does not fold when a match gets hard. She did not fold down a set to an Olympic champion. She has not folded on the biggest stages against players who have already lifted Grand Slam trophies. Every time the moment has gotten bigger this year, she has gotten calmer, steadier, more dangerous. And that is exactly why millions of Filipinos, at home and scattered across the world, keep waking up at impossible hours just to watch her play. It was never only about the wins, it's about what she represents every single time she steps onto that court. A country of over 100 million people, watching one of their own refuse to shrink in front of players who have already stood on Olympic podiums and held up Grand Slam trophies. Win or lose today, one thing has already been proven beyond doubt. Alex Eala is not a surprise story that got lucky once. She is a genuine threat to every single player left in this tournament, and to every player who stands across from her for the rest of this season. So today, as she walks out to face Leylah Fernandez, carry this with you. A come-from-behind win over an Olympic gold medalist, a complete sweep of every singles medalist from the Paris Olympics, and a mindset that, in her own words, was always there, finally backed by the level to make it count. If you want to follow every step of this journey, from Washington to Toronto to Cincinnati, all the way to the US Open, make sure you're subscribed, because this season is turning into something this country will remember for a long time. Now I want to hear from you. Do you believe Alex Eala can beat the defending champion today and keep this run alive? Drop your prediction in the comments. Because right now, there is no version of this story where you count her out. She has already shown us, again and again, exactly what happens when you try.